We're streaming live.
Nice.
Yeah, we're streaming live. Okay, all right, and we are live now. Awesome. All right. Well, guys, welcome back to another episode, another live stream with one of our partners, an industry expert. Where we kind of dive in, learn a little bit about them, get some tips, get some value, learn from the best, right? So, guys, who we have up today? Good friend, brother in Christ, believer, amazing story, founder, multi-founder, and he'll get into that later. But Mr. Tim Crouch, Tim, what's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, brother? How you doing today? I'm good.
I'm so good, man. I'm so good. Like, it's been a solid week. It's a lot of moving parts, but hey, love it. So, well, Tim, man, get into it for us. Like, give us a little bit of your story, man. Like, tell us your story. Like, if somebody doesn't know, anything about you, right? Like, help them learn. So I'd love to start with that because it's a pretty good one.
Which one? What story? Like going way back or?
Yeah, let's go way back. Why not?
Okay. Yeah, man. So I don't know. I mean, are you talking about like my life story or business story?
Both. How did gutter growth? How did secret weapons? How did mother's gutters? Like, how did all that come to be? Right? Like, kind of what led to that? Because you had some ups and downs in there. You had some medical stuff in there, as well too. But you also learned a lot, and have gone through a lot of things that people are probably going through now that are watching this, right? That could learn from that.
So I'll take it back to when I was 13. I was messing around with some kids, doing some stuff I shouldn't have done, and I ended up paralyzing my left arm. Was told I wasn't gonna use it again, so that was my first real fight to make sure, because I had my mind made up. I was going to use my arm again, and so I did. It took me several years to recover. That led me into doing personal training because as I was recovering, like I had to. First off, like I didn't even know if I'd ever be able to move my fingers again, let alone grip a 2-pound dumbbell. Right. But I had to start with like a 2-pound dumbbell doing curls. Once I got to that point. So I just dove heavy into the gym. Like initially it was just to catch up to my other arm, but then I kind of got into bodybuilding by the time I was 17, 18, which led me into getting into personal training, which was a short career. I only did it for like 6 to 8 months. Mm-hmm. But one of my clients that I was training was a gutter guy. Mm-hmm. And something happened with the gym. I was like renting space and they were doing, they were hiring subcontractors for the training, but they had new management come in and they wanted to have all employees, and that would have shaved my income down to like nothing. Because I had been given up a portion of it. So I'm like, I'm going to get out of it. And I didn't even know what a gutter was at the time, to be honest with you. I didn't know until like the day I showed up to the job. But I just fell into the gutter industry, did that for working for a company for like 5-6 years, just getting some skills down. And then I started to, the Great Recession happened and there was no jobs. And it's like, now I got to start a business because there's no jobs. So I got to create one.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I fell into the whole gutter business. And, through that, I did some storm chasing where I took a company traveling after hail damage, went to like 8-9 different states, came back, built a really busy gutter company here that I sold it on the 10th year that I owned it. And that led me into getting into the coaching and training and starting gutter growth. And here we are.
There you are. Yeah, man. Love it. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about the physical side of it, right? Because like obviously the physical fitness side, that's like tied heavily. We all kind of know, right? We all know the talks, all know the things, right? That's like tied heavily to your your mindset, your growth overall, like strong body, strong mind, strong business, that kind of stuff. How much did that actually matter, right? Like, you know what I mean? Because there's people that don't work out and they're still successful, right?
Yeah.
But, how would you say in your experience that like really tied together?
I think it's important. I know there's people like that are successful that are, fat and overweight and stuff like that, or might have diabetes, but that's just monetary success, right? And so I just don't feel like that's the whole picture. I think if you really want to live a successful life, you got to be well-rounded. Yeah. And if your health is bad and you don't feel good, I mean, I'm 40 now, getting ready to turn 41 in a week or two. Mm-hmm. I look at some other people my age and it's like, they look 10 years older than me or, 15, they can't feel good, and so are you really successful? Like if you don't feel good, like if you're not strong, able to do stuff, if you get short-winded when you got to go, walk somewhere, it's just I don't think it's a successful life at all. And I've always been really health conscious, especially with food and stuff.
Mhm.
But it's just, I guess I've dove in more the past couple of years and back getting into working out and stuff, kind of back to my roots when I was training. And mentally, I'm sharper. Like I wake up sharper, So I think that if you're, your mind follows your body for sure. So if you got a good, I think it kind of goes together. So if you're taking care of your body, you're going to have a sharper mind, and that's going to equate to success. Even though there's that guy out there that might have monetary success, it's out of shape. I'm not saying people can't do it, but I feel that you're more successful and well-rounded with that component added, and you'll live longer and feel better and happier. And, even respect, people respect you more.
Yeah. 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 100%. Yeah. I agree. I agree. I mean, and also too, something I've noticed is that like, if you keep at a certain level, right? Like, hey, here's my baseline. If you get injured, because people get injured, right? Like people get hurt, dude.
Yeah.
Injuries, injuries aren't as bad. You recover faster. You heal faster. You can kind of get back on the horse faster. That kind of stuff.
That's true. But going back to when I paralyzed my arm, I didn't talk about this part, but
yeah,
the doctors said that they never seen a 13-year-old in that good of shape. What I was doing, like from 12 to 13, every night I would do like 100 push-ups.
Right.
Every night, and so, and I played sports. I played baseball and stuff like that. Had I not been in good physical shape, I really don't know if I would have had the chance to recover.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. 100%. 100%. What if, what can somebody do, right? Like wherever they're at, like what can somebody do who's never done anything, like what's a good suggestion to like, hey, start going for a walk every day. Hey, start doing this every day. Start doing this every day. Like how can, where would you suggest somebody who's never done it and they're like, hey, you know what? Yeah, like I want to command the respect when I walk into the room and have that kind of strong body, strong presence, confident walk right in yourself, because then that will lead to confidence in your mind. Like where can somebody start to get to that?
I mean, there's two things that I would probably be the first thing I did, but as far as like if you want an easy start, I think walking is way underestimated.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just if you take a walk every night after your dinner, 15, 20 minutes, don't have to be crazy. I think that'll get you in the start of it.
Yeah.
I started, recently I had an injury like a year ago, so I had to stay out of the gym for a couple months, so I was doing a sauna for, 4 times a week, and I think it's just doing something small, but the number one thing I would do, like the number one thing isn't even working out. It would be cutting out sugar out of my diet completely. It wouldn't even necessarily be changing my whole diet and making, I wouldn't necessarily make a diet per se. I would just start with cutting out sugar, and that's going to do a hell of a lot for you. Yeah. And that you'll start developing and caring more about the diet and dialing that in. But if you can get rid of sugar and kick that habit, it might take you a month to do.
Yeah.
That's life-changing.
Dude, that's a big one, man. That's a big one. So,
yeah.
So, a long time ago, back in probably when I was, I don't know, maybe like 17, 18, something like that. Man, I made that switch, right? Like cut out the sugar, cut out the soda, cut out the high fructose corn syrup, like all that jazz. And I mean, just immediately, granted I was young, right? And I was active, but immediately just shed like 100, 120 pounds, like, woof, right off, right? Like just came right off me, melted.
I can't imagine you that big.
Oh, dude, I know it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. I'll see if I can try to find some pictures next time we're together. But like, and show you. But yeah, it was nuts, man. Just like people couldn't believe it because it was so fast.
Yeah.
And it was just like going from one end of the spectrum to the other. So that was nuts. But really, I think more so even like cutting out sugar, yes, but like making it a lifestyle change, right? Like you can't do something one little pop and expect like, oh, I'm good now forever, It's like, dude, that lifestyle change of like consistently doing that forever. And like I have, so I know you can do it. Right. Yeah. I pretty much don't eat sugar. I like don't drink alcohol. Like that's it. There's no nutritional benefit in those things for you. So, and like, no matter my level of activity output, I pretty much stay pretty lean just purely from that. Right. So yeah, man, that's a huge one. And yeah, I agree with you on the mental clarity stuff for sure. Did you see any significance like in any of your businesses, right? Or your coaching or anything like that when, kind of either when you made that switch or, just even today in today's world, right? Like at the level you're at, right? Like, do you feel that you can just compute quicker, you can lead faster, you can, your stamina and endurance on the mental side is longer. Like, what does that look like?
No, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think it contributes to everything. I've been off sugar for about 8 years. And
Mhm.
I'm not saying that like I'll never ever eat
Sure.
something with sugar, but I mean it's pretty much almost never. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like that might be like twice a year
Yeah.
that I might have a cake at it, and I probably will scrape the icing off.
Yeah.
So I just don't. My taste buds changed after
Yeah.
cutting out sugar. Like it is too sweet now. Now it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
man, this is so sweet, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Um, but no, I think it changed a lot. I mean, just my mental clarity is. I started reading a lot more books after because I had the energy, the brain energy to do it, and
Yep.
where I feel like I didn't before, maybe more, foggy. I don't wake up with a swollen face. Some people wake up puffy and inflamed.
Mhm.
I just took a blood test a couple weeks ago, and I had like zero inflammation. I think a lot of us are walking around inflamed. As
Yeah.
far as sugar goes, like it's not even natural what we're doing. Like if we go back to the early 1900s, the
Mhm.
amount of sugar consumption was like I'm probably wrong, but it was low. It's like a half a pound a year or something. And like now people are eating like 320 pounds of sugar. Like, you know how much sugar that is?
Dude,
Like,
that's
and their
crazy.
bodies weren't made for it. It's not something that was naturally produced. And
Yep. Yeah.
they break it down and do all this stuff with it to get it out of the sugar cane and take the fibers away.
Yep.
So it's not, we weren't meant for it. Our bodies don't know how to process it. And that's why you get fat and out of shape and inflamed and feel like shit. And
Yeah. 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 So true. Yeah. Yeah. I agree, man. Let's switch gears on you real quick. Let's talk about gutter growth, right? Like
yeah,
how did gutter growth come to be? Like, I mean, it's grown a lot, I mean, even just since I've known you, but over the years it's grown a lot. How'd that come to be and kind of what does that look like?
so I didn't even know I was going to start it. I had sold the business, and going back before I sold the business, like 3 4 years, I started joining those gutter groups on Facebook
Yeah.
and just got real active in the communities. And I don't know, it's just I get maybe because I was a trainer before, I get that helpful nature. I kind of like if I see someone like not doing something right, I like to try to help them along.
Hmm.
So I just gave a lot of value for like 3 4 years. So I was kind of known for that, and but that was that. I sold the business. I didn't actually know what I was going to do. And John Majak called me into a meeting into his office.
Hmm.
So I went into the meeting to meet him and John, and they had a bottle of champagne and a card and congratulated me for the sale of the business.
Yeah.
And then they brought me in their office, and they had this big TV screen up. And on the TV screen, they had a website for gutter growth. And
Ah,
they're like, this is your next business.
dang, let's go.
Yeah,
Cool.
so I didn't know, man. I wasn't a coach, but Majak had the experience with Conquer,
Hmm.
Conquer coaching, so he kind of understood the industry a little bit more. And
Yeah.
like I had no idea that I needed to start a podcast, so he kind of like helped coach me along on
Yeah.
getting it rolled out. And then 6 months into it, me and Grant hooked up, and I brought him into it, and then we've been killing it since.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Heck yeah. So what's next on the horizon then for gutter growth in general? Like what do you guys got coming up?
We get a lot of lives coming up. I know you guys are sponsoring some of them.
Yeah, true.
So we
True.
got Colorado coming up the 28th. That's going to be a good time. Going to be renting out a mansion out there. So we're going to be doing 6 lives this year. They are free. We just rent out a mansion and kind of give value for, a good part of the day. You could fly in, fly out. If you're
Mhm.
local, you can kind of drive down. But
Yep.
we just get 40, 50 gutter guys together and just network and,
Yeah.
educate and kind of grow. And it's a good time. And we don't charge, and we feed you. So
Yep.
come
Exactly.
on down for sure. But we've been working on the summit. Like we just got done flying back from New Orleans. So we're working on picking out a venue. And so we got a lot of
Yeah.
moving parts going on between the lives and getting the summit organized and just the coaching program in general.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it. Yeah, busy, busy. It's growing. Yeah, I know. It's growing a ton, dude. It's growing a ton. We were, of course, we were at the first summit, right, and kind of saw the volume there, and then we were at the next one, and then just increasing over
Yeah.
over the years. So, and I mean, I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, right, but I kind of see just from like, kind of zooming out a little bit, and the gutter industry is kind of going through a transformation right now, right? Like, would you agree on that?
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. I mean, we weren't the first convention, but there was a long time that there was no conventions or there was no coaching programs. And
Yeah.
like even the groups were like the Wild Wild West, everyone was just trash talking each other. Like it's gotten to be a little bit less of that, and more people are like coming together and helping, and more of like a community. So that's been pretty cool to watch over the past couple of years.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Yeah, for sure. Love it. What tell us a little bit about secret weapons. That's another one that most people don't know about. Like how'd that come about?
It's a secret.
Is it?
It's another one of Majak's things that he planned up. So that was another thing that he kind of taught me. I didn't wasn't real experienced with using virtual assistants and things like that. And we couldn't do the stuff we do with gutter growth or even the summit if we didn't have a bunch of support on the back end with these VAs. And so it's a lot more cost efficient, and they're really high skilled and talented. We could plug them into pretty much any business for any of their needs. But a lot of the gutter guys are using them for answering the phones and CRM management, just kind of an admin spot, but they're good for a lot of things.
Yeah. Awesome. How long has that one been going? How long have you guys been doing that one now?
Almost 2 years. Not quite. Almost. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. I threw it up in the in the chat there. So awesome. Yeah. Very cool. Good stuff, man. How's Mother's Gutters going?
Good. Grant's killing it.
Yeah.
Take control of it. The guy's got like a 90% close rate on his sales right now. I don't know how the hell he's doing it.
Yeah.
Top dollar too. Like
he's Grant. That's
a beast.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, man. What kind of circling back to some of the kind of the business stuff, and kind of being successful this year, right? Because we're 2026, beginning of the year, right? Obviously, you've got the coaching program, you got Secret Weapons helping you guys out, right? But let's give some free knowledge out, right? Let's give whoever's listening or whoever's going to rewatch this, like, let's give them something some meat they can take into 2026, right? So, like, kind of what are you seeing in the industry, right? Like, are you, is it, are you coming out of slow season, coming hot? Like, what's the industry looking like, right? Well, kind of what are the business trends looking like? What are you telling some of your guys now, right now, coaching them to get prepared for 2026?
I think a lot of it is, if companies they need to work on their branding right now. I think branding and SEO is really important right now, especially with, AI becoming more and more prevalent.
Yeah.
I mean, like now AI getting involved in, searching the whole internet for things. And like, it's going to eventually be the go-to for a lot of people instead of Google.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, I know that they came out with Gemini, but it's still like, correct me if I'm wrong, that's still like just going to be living on Google, but like AI's scraping everything. So I just don't think, like, if you're sleeping on your SEO right now, or if you're not writing blogs and things like that, I think that'd be a huge mistake.
Yeah.
Because I feel like AI is going to start searching question-based things. And if you don't have like the blogs behind it, you might not pull up when it comes to dominating on actually being found on AI.
Yeah.
So I think SEO is really important right now. And then, if the economy's down, which, people have different opinions of it, I think it could be down. A powerful brand is what's going to separate you. So I think if like people really worked on creating a powerful brand, just a really good feeling within their company, that's going to be expressed to the public, because that's what branding is, right? It's the public's perception of you. And so if you can create that trust a lot faster by getting your branding really nailed down, you're going to do better in a bad economy versus somebody who's doesn't have a strong brand. So I think creating a really strong brand and then not sleeping on SEO A lot of people think SEO is dead. It's absolutely not dead, especially with like AI coming out. It's just going to become even more prevalent, and
Yeah.
it's going to create a gap between those who've been working on it and those who haven't, especially as consumer behavior changes over to more AI based searches for
Mhm.
doing business, which
Yeah.
I'm noticing myself do more often
Right. Right.
because like it takes the work away for you. Like
Yeah.
I can go on Google and research and click on a million websites and do my own researching, or I could just have AI do the researching for me and narrow it down to the top three choices and tell me
Mhm.
why these are the top three choices. And
Yeah.
that's what people are going to start doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's what I'd be focused on over this next 12 months.
Okay.
Personally, I mean, I think that's where it's at.
Yeah, 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 and that's a good point too, right? I'm glad you kind of said that because yeah, that's a great example. You can go to Google, you can type it in, you can look at it, you can look at the reviews and stuff like that. But what a lot of people, like you said, are going to start doing, they're just going to start scraping for that, right? And like if you're not in the top results, if you're not, especially if somebody's specifically telling, whatever AI platform they're using to say, hey, only look at people with 4.5 and up for reviews.
Yeah.
Only look at people in this radius. Only look at right. And if you're not meeting that criteria, you're not even going to show up, right?
And it's got its own logic and reasoning. So it'll come up with its own logical reason why this is the best company to use. And
Yeah.
that's because that company, that's referring to it, they're doing something right with their SEO.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're being found, or they're educating, they're writing blogs. And so
Right.
like one thing I'm starting to do with Griswold's is I'm doing one blog post per week,
Okay.
that ties back to the website and gets traction. So now when people are searching things, they're going to run across these articles that are, bringing them back to the website and, things like that. So I think that's what Google's really going to look for. So I would say blog posts are probably really important right now.
Gotcha. Isn't it funny the trends, right? Because like blogs and blogs and that used to be huge, right?
Yeah. And then it kind of went away and
Kind of went away, and then we kind of had the trend of like very lean, slick, minimal, like a lot of open space on the website and things like that. And now we're kind of like circling back to like there's those like foundational things where everything's like tied together and all pointing back to the website or this or that or whatever. It's very interesting to see those kind of trends kind of circle back. So that's interesting on Griswold's, right? So you're doing that now. So
yeah.
For like people don't know, right? Griswold's is a Christmas lights, right?
Yeah.
So you're doing a blog? Was it a blog a week or a blog a day?
Per week.
It was a blog, yeah. So
week.
a good, this is a real life example right here. Like a blog a week, every week for a Christmas lights company, and we're in January, right?
Yep.
Like there ain't nobody hanging Christmas lights right now, like that's all gonna matter come October, November, right?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So that's a really good real life example. Talking about the tightening up your branding, tightening up your things like that. What's a real life example you could give to somebody for that? Like if you say, hey, you look at somebody's website, hey, you need to tighten up your branding. Like you need to do, like, what does that mean?
Well, even me, like, Griswold's Christmas lights, it's a great name. Like people love it. Like I get a lot of great responses from homeowners because of the nostalgia of it, right? The name. Yeah. But the thing is like, honestly, I branded that wrong because I have the word Christmas lights in it. And so like now that I'm trying to get more into like doing some commercial stuff or maybe permanent lighting as well, I feel like I kind of screwed that up a little bit. So it's something you want to think about that won't limit you to one thing particularly.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Like Mother's Gutters, I know that we're never going to do anything other than gutters.
Yeah.
So it's just a name's got to be really thought out and powerful. But I think that what you're trying to create is like a feeling behind the company. So that like Mother's Gutters, right? It's nobody cares like mom. And then we got like packages like Mother's Best, like, for different maintenance packages and all the customers, wives or the women get a rose after the install. You got your I Heart Mom patch. So it's just like a whole feeling that you could play off of. And I think that if you can create that with a brand, it makes you memorable. You know,
Yeah.
and there's so many companies that like they name it after their last name, and they got a logo with a house on it, but so does a million other people and in a million other industries, and nothing's just setting them apart. And so if you don't have anything like really differentiating you from people, you're just not going to be remembered. It's like I got a guy in gutter growth. When he came in, he was doing 3.2 million or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
He rebranded to Utterly Gutters, and he's got like a cow character. 2 years later, he's doing like 5.5.
Dang.
And not only that, like I don't remember what his first company name was.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't memorable, but
Yeah.
I'm never going to forget his company now. And so that's the thing. If you could be memorable where people remember you, it'll make all your other marketing cheaper down the road. It's a little heavy on the front end of maybe putting together a nice brand or hiring a company. Like I would totally hire a branding company.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Just to get it done right, because it's expensive on the front end, but like if you have a very memorable name, a good feeling behind your brand, great reviews, like that front end is going to make everything else cheaper down the road because you might not have to, be paying for clicks all the time. Like eventually your brand's going to do the work for you.
Yeah. 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 That's true. That's true. Cause like, it's so funny that you just said that of like, I don't even remember the guy's company's first name. Like that's how important it is. Cause like, as like his coach, right? As his coach, right? It's like, I don't even remember the name of your first company because it's so non-memorable, but like, I remember, Utterly Gutters, right? Like, that's a great example of that for sure. Yeah. Nina, we're calling wall painting. We're expanding past painting, so I can relate. Oh yeah, awesome, Nina. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Nina just threw in one of the comments there that she's expanding past painting, but her name of her company is Wall to Wall Painting.
Yep.
So great example. Yeah, for sure.
And you can do rebrands. I mean, you don't have to eliminate your company. You could do a name change, keep the same EIN number. It's a lot of back end. As far as getting all the listings and things changed back over, but you could hire someone to do it. It's not impossible. I mean, this guy went from 3.2 to 5, that's a lot of growth, 5.5 just in 2 years.
Yeah.
And he had to go through all that and it affected him none.
Yeah.
So if you could really nail it, I think you could get past it, the name thing on the painting.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Now, let me ask you a VA question, right? Because that's, some people are all for it. Some people are not. So, I mean, there's a lot of mixed opinions around VAs, outsourcing, everything like that, right? Obviously you believe in it, right? Everything. So like what do you suggest to somebody if they're thinking about it, they're on the fence, right? Like, why would they do it? Why would they not do it? And if they say, yep, I'm going for it, what's one of the first positions or one of the first things that, you want to hire them for?
I mean, the reason there's a lot of things you could hire them for, but the reason why I would use it is because anything a VA is doing is, although it's valuable and it's very important for the business, it's not a high dollar task. Like you could pay someone not that much to do it. Like if you could pay someone $20 an hour to do it, it's not worth doing. And VAs don't even cost that much or half of that, so they're very cost effective because of the power of the dollar.
Mm-hmm.
They're very talented. They're very high skilled workers.
Mm-hmm.
But why would you not do it, to be honest with you? Because like if you hire someone in the States, you're just not gonna be able to afford it. Like you're going to be paying $5,000 for something you could pay, $1,800 a month for, and you have this person 40 hours a week. So I don't know. It's maybe people are worried about the language barrier, but they speak English, so they're good with English, and it's just really powerful to have someone to be able to get things done. And if you're answering the phones and stuff like that, you might be doing an estimate. Now your phone's ringing. Now you're not answering it. Like it's not a good business. So if you can pay someone else to do a task that's not high dollar, I would totally get rid of that so that you're doing high dollar tasks.
Mm-hmm.
Probably that's going to be sales. Until you get big enough to where you start hiring salespeople, and then that might change. It might be more high value for just to manage these people. Or eventually gets someone in there project managing or stuff like that. So it's just, if it's a low dollar task, why are you doing it?
Yeah. Yeah, very true. Especially as the, especially if you're the owner, right? And you're doing everything, you're wearing all the hats, right? I mean, getting your time focused in on kind of one thing that's going to move the needle, right?
Mhm.
Versus all a million things across the board and the needle's not moving or slowly going backwards. Like that's a bad spot to be, right?
Like right now, I have my VA like just dialing down on all my KPIs. Like we finished the Christmas season, and
Mhm,
actually next year I'm going to have it more ongoing. So I'm not just trying to figure it out all at the end of the season.
mhm.
But this short season we're busy. So now she's like dialing in all my KPIs, and I'm going to have a lot of decisions to make based off of that. And so that's
Right.
another thing. Like, do you want to sit there for a week going through all your numbers? It's not me. I could pay a VA to do that for really cheap, and now I got clarity, and I'm going to make money behind those decisions. So I think having VAs, you could just get more organized and dialed in. And honestly, I don't think really most of us entrepreneurs are really all that organized.
Yeah.
We get this idea, that idea,
Yeah, 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 yeah. Idea. Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. Very true. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I know that's a big one, and yeah, I mean there's value there and just the concept of like you said, skilled workers, extremely intelligent, oftentimes can do the job better than you can, kind of thing. So I think one thing too on the front end, just kind of like you were talking about earlier with the brand stuff, right? Like, spend time on the front end, training, setting the expectations, everything like that, like just like you would with anybody else. And it's going to pay, dividends in the long run, right? I mean, I think that's what, a lot of people, forget too as well. It's like, train, right? Like spend a little time on the front end and then you're good to go, right?
VAs do really good with SOPs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, create the
You
SOPs.
have it on paper for them, they're going to follow it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, very true, very true. All right, switching gears on you again because this just popped in my head. I'm curious to see, kind of what you think or how you guys use it in like mother's gutters or even Griswolds. But yard signs, door hangers. What do you guys do, and what have you seen with success on that? Where do you guys fall?
So, I mean, the thing about yard signs is it's one to many, right? And so you're going to get a lot of eyes on it. I think it's very effective. Like we do it for both mothers and Griswolds. I do it heavily in Griswolds. I think I put out 650 yard signs this season.
Nice.
You get a ton of calls, but the thing is, like thousands of people are seeing that. So it's a good way to get eyes on many. I think that one of the biggest mistakes that people make is just trying to put too much message in a sign. I mean, you're talking about 24 by 18. If you're trying to put every single service you do on there and your website and your logo up here, like it's just too much. And I think it's fine to have a branded sign that you put in the yards for the installs because neighbors are seeing you there installing. They see the sign, they see the job, they'll pay attention. They're walking around the neighborhood, they're driving slow. But I just don't feel that that's the same approach that you should take for lead generation.
Okay.
And so with lead generation, people are driving around. They have to pay attention to the road, to other stuff. If they look over to a sign and it's a lot of work to read, they're just not going to read it. And so I like to keep it simple. Like in the gutter industry per se, I would have seamless gutters and the phone number real big.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I wouldn't try to put a QR code and all this stuff. I would literally just put what it is and the phone number. And the thing is why it converts better is simply because the people who need it know that they need it and they can read it. And they see it. And so it converts better. And it's simply because they see it. And so it's just my opinion for street signs is just keep it stupid simple, very, very readable. And the main thing is that they're able to read it. You got to think these people are driving around. Like literally, if there's too much to read, they're just not going to read it. And you could force them to read it by keeping it so small. Like you couldn't look at my sign and not know what it says.
Yeah.
Seamless gutters and the phone number. And that's what you want. You'll get more conversion that way. So I think it's really effective. I think the problem with it is people don't do enough of it. It's like, Alex Ramosi says, like, a lot of people are doing the right things. You're not doing enough of it. And like, so they'll buy 100 and they'll put out 20, 25 and feel like it's going to do something. I mean, it's really not. You might get a couple jobs, but if you make a system out of it and you're systematically putting out, like, say 50 per week and like that's your quota, now you're going to get somewhere. Now you're getting an extra 6-7 calls per week and on a consistent basis because you're being consistent with it.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people say, well, the city takes it down. Yeah, they probably do. So I wouldn't necessarily put it on city corners because it's going to be pulled down in like a day or two, or maybe that day, because there's people actually paid to drive around and do that.
Yeah.
That's what they're paid for. So it's going to come down. But what I tend to do is put it in shopping plaza exits. It's private property, so the city can't really harass me. And no one ever says anything. If for some reason a plaza says, hey, knock it off, I just don't go back to that plaza. There's hundreds of other plazas.
Yeah.
So I think that works real well. And then doing it on highway exits.
Okay.
Generally, I would do two-sided always because the homeless people will steal it and write on the back of it. So if you want it to stay up, do two-sided. But it's going to stay up until they mow. And they might mow once a month,
Right.
And so it'll last there for a while. And think about how many people take that exit every day.
Gotcha.
So that's the approach I have, and just having an actual quota and staying consistent with continually putting them out and not just, putting out 20 and feel like you did something. I think that where people go wrong is they don't make a system out of it.
Gotcha. Okay. So systematize it, right?
Yep.
So you can scale it and you can do it consistently. And that a couple good pro tips there too, right? Like shopping plazas and highway entrances and exits. That's a good one. Yeah, because those are going to stay longer, and they'll eventually get taken down or something will happen to them. But those are a couple good spots for sure.
And then I just did this is the first time doing it, but I just did a purchase on Alibaba, however you say it. That was But I bought 1,000 signs for $2.56 a piece. So I saved it was like buy one get one free, because that's what it would cost to print 500 of them. So I got 1,000 coming in for super cheap. It does take 6 weeks to come in, but maybe do a bulk order like that.
Yeah.
They'll print one sign. They print one sample sign and they'll send you a video of it, spin it around. You can see the quality.
Okay.
And your money's safe on there. If for some reason they don't deliver, that company will give you back your money. So it's a safe platform.
Yeah.
If you're going to be doing this if you're going to be doing this as a system, like buy in bulk, buy 1,000 of them, make it really, really cheap. It's already cheap. Let's make it cheaper.
Yeah. Why not? Right. Every dollar counts, right? To the bottom line. So absolutely. No, that's a good one. Yeah. So just buy bulk from Alibaba. You'll get the proof, right? The proof and in some form or fashion. So very cool. What are you seeing? Something you said earlier, struck my brain. What are you guys seeing that's converting best right now, right? Like is it yard signs? Is it door hangers? Is it just is it Meta? Is it Google? Is it what are you guys seeing that's converting the best right now?
Well, with mothers, like the number one converting thing right now is networking. Lisa got into some different groups and stuff that she's head of the chapters of.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You sell you have like a 95% close rate on that stuff. So if you can get some networking in your town, that's definitely working. But as far as like lead generation, that's not referral based or putting work into it, I would say that nothing ever beats Google.
Yeah.
I really don't think so. The reason why I say that, Facebook could beat Google. He had the right creative, but none of these people are doing the right creatives. So like they're not testing. Like you should be doing like 5-10 different things and then seeing what performs the best when it comes to like some type of disruption marketing like that. Mm-hmm. But what I like about Google, even though it's probably one of the more expensive leads, running ads, but the thing is like that customer typed in what they wanted. Like they literally know what they want and they're typing it in right now. So I just feel like it's always been my best converting customer because it seems like it's my most serious customer. I'm not saying that Facebook customers are never serious, but if you look at the root of how the lead took place, it was a disruption marketing that made it happen. Like you disrupted them, which is fine. Like that's good. You need to do that. That's part of marketing, like getting people enticed into it. But Google already knew what they wanted. You didn't have to entice them. Like, of course, you had to have the good reviews and a nice website,
right?
But you didn't have to entice them to get there.
Yeah.
And so, like, I just feel like it's always been my most serious customer and my highest average ticket price.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, it's higher intent customers too, right? Like you said, putting in exactly what they want, and they know they're looking for that. So as long as you have your other foundational pillars built, and they can have visibility to you, like they're going specifically for that. So I mean, it's similar, and it's similar to like, if you're selling actual products, right, physical products, and you get on Amazon, and you're doing, and yeah, you're on Facebook or Etsy or wherever, but you're running ads on Amazon and comparing those results and what converts to Facebook and the other places. Like, I mean, people go to Amazon to buy stuff, right? Like, it's literally the highest intent customer that you can find. They are there to simply add things to their cart and buy stuff.
It's true.
And it's like similar to Google, right? Like, people are when that, gutters near me, highest ranking gutter company, near me, highest gutter company in this area, that area. I mean, they are looking specifically for that. So that makes a lot of sense too, as well. I mean, you got to have it all, right? Like, you got to have that mix in there. Of course, we all know that, but I mean, usually higher intent coming from Google. So
I look at it as different markets. So I like to get a piece of all the markets. Like with Griswold's, my Google ads is maxed out. Like, a higher budget is not going to get me more leads. Like, there's only the search volume that there is. And I put crazy, stupid high ad budgets. I mean, like, crazy ad budgets.
Yeah.
Because I want every single lead. But now that I'm tapped out on that, I'm like looking into other markets. So like I ended up getting involved in Angie's List again, even though like everyone hates it. But the way I'm looking at it, like, okay, if the mass, like, if I get 5% out of this, I put $4,600 into it. I have the potential of getting like 270 leads because it costs so much per lead.
Yep.
If I actually max out and get all those leads and I only sell 5%, like, it's still profitable for me. Like, I'm still bringing in, it's still costing me like 10%. Like, I figured if I do 5% with my average ticket price, I could still bring in 45 grand worth of new business. So to me, it makes sense.
Yep.
Because the mass, and it's another market that's not like, those customers are never going to be my Google customers.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't necessarily recommend anyone signing up to that. But for me, it was worth it because my Google was maxed out and I'm trying to get into other markets.
Right. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. Especially if it's two different market groups, two different sets of people. Right. And you're not double dipping, or you're not, advertising to the same person, because then you just blew your CPA cost if you're advertising to the same person on multiple channels. Right. But, good stuff. Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, man, as we wrap up, we're kind of hitting time a little bit here, as we're wrapping up, dude, like, any bit of advice or anything that you want to, leave with the people. Oh, Nina said, do you utilize Nextdoor app? That's a good question, Nina. Yeah. Nextdoor. Do you guys use Nextdoor for anything?
I was just researching it, and I might do it for Griswold's. But then again, you got to think, I don't want to give out bad advice. My advice is because I am tapped out on Google. I am, my city's probably tapped out on the amount of yard signs I could put out. I could probably scale Facebook more, and I'm going to.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say that I'm doing these other things, it's literally because I'm trying to put myself into other markets, and I feel that I'm tapped out. Nextdoor, I would definitely be doing it organically for sure. I've heard a lot of good on that. I've been doing some research on it. I've heard mixed things. I've heard it, works for some people. I'm running ads. I've heard other people are killing it from just posting organically. I've heard that it doesn't work for other people. So I think it's just something that you have to be willing to experiment with. But you absolutely cannot go wrong with organically posting in Nextdoor. Maybe, hopefully it does something. If you have a VA, they should be doing it. Like, get that work, have someone else do it. But yeah, I would be posting in there for sure, organically, if not anything. I just don't have the experience yet. If you ask me next year on how it went, I could tell you how it went for me in my market. I'm training people in the gutter industry in a lot of different markets throughout the United States, and there's different markets. Like, over where I'm at, Yelp sucks for home service industries. You go over to California, people are actually using it there. And so, like, you got to be careful with that too. When you're asking someone, like, if it works or doesn't work, like, a lot of these things work in certain markets, and other markets they don't work as well in. So I think it'd be something that I would be willing to experiment with.
Yeah. No, that's good advice. Yeah. Good advice for sure. Yep. All right, man. All right, Tim, I appreciate it. Nina, anybody else that kind of in there listening, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Hopefully we got some good value out, good value out of it and some good advice you can take and implement in your own business. But other than that, Tim, thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Always a pleasure. Always a good time. All right. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for having me on, bro.
Yeah, man, you got it. Anytime. All right. See you guys.